Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our Mindful Monday meditation. Glad to see you all, your smiling faces. And if you're here in Arizona, what better time to meditate, right? Because we don't want to be outside. It's like 100 and whatever, 15 or something. So really good to be inside and to do a little meditation. And I tell you something, I was traveling over the past like 5 days. And I'll tell you how meditation actually helped me. And one was when I was in the plane and we were on the tarmac for 2 extra hours in the plane, and I had my window seat because I was going to really enjoy the view on the way home. And now I was sitting in this darn little window seat waiting for the excess gas fluid to be taken out of the plane. That was what we were doing. It was overfueled. And so then after that, I had never even heard of this. After that, it had to be, the fluids had to balance. So 2 extra hours, it kind of almost gave me a sense of panic, like, oh my God, I'm sitting here for 2 extra hours and then still, the flight and everything. And so what I did was like, oh, what do I do? And I thought, well, you can always meditate. And so that's what I do. I closed my eyes, I relaxed, and I told myself that this was such a wonderful opportunity to do a little extra meditation. And then I really kind of marveled at the fact that all these people in the plane actually stayed calm during this time. It's kind of amazing in a way, because we're all sitting there like squished into this completely full plane. And it would get kind of ugly if people weren't staying calm, but everybody just stayed calm and we all did okay. And then everybody was applauding when the plane finally started moving. So it was really helpful to meditate, really. And then the other thing that I felt very helpful, and I always want to point out some things that we can learn or that is beneficial in our life from meditation. And that is when I cross the parking lot. Anybody who's in the on the Phoenix campus knows what I'm talking about. So I park my car in the parking garage, which is a real blessing. And then we walk across and it's like, hot, it's already hot, 7 a.m. And then I thought, mindful walk. Can I walk here and not have an opinion? Just, I'm experiencing different sensations. I'm experiencing different things that I can see, the plants, the birds, the lack thereof, because the birds are going elsewhere, I think, when it gets real hot. And it was just helpful, because I think when I start complaining about things that I can't change anyway, it just makes me more miserable. And when I just walk there and I feel temperature, I feel certain things, I see certain things, I notice certain thoughts, then it's actually all right. So that's my little takeaway as to reasons for meditation. There are many of them, and but these are some of them, that you can just make the most out of a moment that could potentially be unpleasant and make them at least neutral. Neutral, maybe even pleasant, but maybe that's for some situations that's too much to ask, but at least make them neutral and don't add to the suffering that you could potentially otherwise experience. So that's one reason I meditate, makes life just more, better really, fewer. I think it makes my highs higher, and it makes my lows higher as well, because I just notice that they're happening, and I realize I have choices at that moment, and I don't have to add negativity to the story or negative stories about the moment. So that's really my main takeaway. But now let's go meditate. Actually, let's first do a little bit of stretching. For those of us that have been sitting at a computer or just sitting in general, go ahead and clasp your hands together and then push your palms upward. So the palms of the hands are upward with your hands clasped as if you're in a prayer position. And then reach the palms towards the ceiling and really feel like you're lengthening your spine. And maybe keep your chin slightly down, slightly tucked. And just reach really high with the arms, with the hands, as if you want to touch the ceiling. Take a really deep breath in. Hold the breath for a moment, lengthen. And then breathe out and relax the hands, put them behind the back of your head. cradling the back of your head. And then if you're having a back rest, lean into the back rest, lift your chest, allow your elbows to open up, and maybe your head tilts a little bit upward, like I'm right now looking at where the ceiling meets the wall. And I just breathe in, feeling the chest stretching, feeling my neck resting. Just take a long breath here in through the nose and hold the breath for a few seconds. And then as you breathe out, come back to sitting up straight. Take the hands forward. And now again, turn the palms facing forward away from your chest, and then reach those palms as if you're pushing something away. Allow the back to round a little bit, and then look down. Look down at your legs if you're seated. Take a deep breath in here. Hold the breath for a few seconds. And then breathe out, lower the hands down, unclasp the hands. Straighten your spine, roll your shoulders a few times up, back and down. Maybe take a few deep breaths while you're doing that. I tend to just like to roll my shoulders backward. I don't really like rolling them forward. But if that's something you do like, then please feel free. You roll your shoulders forward. I feel that's where they live anyway, and I like to roll them back. And then hike them up to your shoulders one time. And on your next out breath, just drop your shoulders away from your ears. Place your feet about hip width apart. Wiggle your legs a bit. And then wiggle them smaller and smaller and smaller until your legs are still, finding a comfortable position. Shoulders relaxing away from the ears. Your palms can be facing upward or downward on your legs. Or maybe you can place one hand under the other hand and kind of cup your hands on your lap. Just see what's comfortable for you. There's nothing really special about how we're sitting. Really, all we want is to have a position that's comfortable, so you don't have to think about it. And then if you're comfortable, go ahead and allow your eyes to slowly close, really lightly. And if you prefer, you can keep your eyes open. I find it very distracting to keep my eyes open. I will start having all kinds of thoughts about the things that I see, so I close them as well. I just now and then open them to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on the time. So let's start now with 3 really calm, long breaths, ideally in and out through the nose. The breath is very gentle. You don't really even want to hear yourself breathe. Just really gentle, long breaths. Complete in-breath, complete out-breath. At the end of that 3rd breath, just allow your breath to resume its natural pace and its natural depth. And briefly scanning the body, feeling the feet resting in your shoes or straight on the floor. Feeling your lower legs. Feeling where your thighs are resting on your chair. And if you're not sitting, if you're in a different position, just adjust the instructions. If your hands are resting on your thighs, just feel where the hands are touching your thighs. Notice if your legs are soft and relaxed. Feel free to make little posture adjustments if needed. Allow your bottom to sort of sink into your chair, really resting, releasing any tension in the hips, the buttocks, in the pelvic floor. And if you have a backrest and you will let yourself rest into the backrest, just feel where your spine, where your back is connecting to the backrest, And allow your back muscles to soften into that support. And again, any micro adjustment in your posture is a-okay. Noticing how comfortable you can make yourself. And then feeling your shoulders as they relax away from the ears. Feeling the shoulders hanging down. Upper arms, forearms. Resting with the hands supporting the weight of the arms on the lap. And then feel how your fingers most likely have a very slight natural curl. Especially if your palms are facing upward. They might be a little straighter when your palms are facing downward on your legs. Simply notice, simply observe. And then feeling the belly, nice warm area of the body, the belly. Maybe you can feel a little bit of a rising and falling in the belly with the breath. And when we pay close attention to the belly, there's a lot of different sensations in that area. Sensations of food moving through, or just the digestive system doing its thing. Sometimes we can feel some bubbliness, some gurgliness, depending if you already ate or not. We might feel our clothing touching the skin of the abdomen. And then, of course, the rising and the falling, or the expanding and contracting of the belly. If we allow the belly to be soft and relaxed, then when we breathe in, there will be a little bit of an expansion of the belly. So see if you can allow your belly to be soft and relaxed. We often have a habit of drawing the belly in tightly, which can be a good thing when we're moving and exercising, but it's not a good thing when we're resting, when we're just sitting still. And then feeling the chest. Many different sensations there too. Expansion and contraction related to our breathing. You might feel a sideways lifting of the ribs, right at the area where the upper arms are touching our rib cage. You might also feel a little bit of an expansion forward and backward of the ribs. And remember, the ribs also attach all the way to our spine in the back. So you might feel a little bit of an expansion there as well on the in-breath. No need to create it, simply observe it, simply watch it. Maybe you can feel your heart beating in the center of the chest. Some people are aware of that sensation and some people are not. So simply notice if you're one of the people that can feel that, or perhaps you're one of the people that doesn't really feel that. whole body soft, relaxed. And noticing the gentle rising and falling of the chest, the belly, perhaps the upper back, perhaps the lower back. Again, simply observe and notice where you feel the movements happening. Without creating it, without aiming for anything in particular, simply watching yourself breathe. Using the breath for meditation is so helpful because it's always there. We don't need fancy equipment. Simply bring our awareness to a body function that is so consistent as our breath is one of the reasons that it is the most used focus point with meditation. It's very important, though, when we're focusing on the breath, that our awareness is really light and easy. We don't concentrate hard on the breath. It's as easy as listening to my voice. You're not straining to hear me. You just allow my voice to come to your ears. That's how light the attention to your breath should be as well. Just like you're just checking in. And sometimes we notice that when we're paying attention to the breath, that the breath automatically changes a little bit here and there. Sometimes it gets a little more shallow. Sometimes there's suddenly the need for a deeper breath. Sometimes you might feel like there's a moment where you actually didn't breathe, and that's a-okay too. Your physiology will figure it out and make you breathe again when you need to. Just don't purposely try and hold your breath. Just allow yourself to be entertained by all the subtle sensations of breathing. It might even be interesting to notice the sensations inside the nostrils, assuming you're breathing through your nose. The interesting sensation of the difference between the sensations of an in-breath versus an out-breath. The difference between right and left nostril. Some people prefer to pay attention to just the entire sensation of the body breathing. A general expansion, a general letting go. If it's difficult for you to really pay attention to the subtlety of the sensations, it might be easier to use a mantra or a word. And it could be as simple as breathing in during the in-breath and the word breathing out as you're breathing out. Or simply in as you're breathing in and out as you're breathing out. And then your focus would be more on the sound of those words versus the sensations that I've been talking about. When other thoughts come through, you simply allow them to pass through as you keep refocusing on the breath, perhaps on the sensations or perhaps on using the words that I suggested. We'll stay like this for just a few more minutes, and I'm going to introduce a little bit of silence. I will keep an eye on the time. If you find yourself daydreaming a lot, just bring your awareness back and consider lifting your gaze with your eyes closed, as if you're looking through an opening between your eyebrows. By lifting the gaze a little bit, it's easier to stay focused. Keep bringing your awareness back to your breath. And then allow yourself to let go of your focus on the breath and simply sit and rest. Just allow yourself to be relaxed and notice what it feels like. How do you feel different now compared to when we just started? You don't even have to use words for that, simply feel. Maybe your breath is a little different. Perhaps your body overall feels a little different. Maybe your thoughts have calmed down a little. And then imagine the peace that you are experiencing, that you have created just now. Imagine that radiating out from you effortlessly. You're just like a peace light or a peace beacon. And just imagine this light, this peace spreading from you and just touching your loved ones or people that just need a little bit more peace in their life. Just imagine them basking in that light, in that peace. Just imagine them soaking that up. So it's a very effortless process for you. Just like the sun is shining effortlessly, we can be radiating peace effortlessly just by being peace, by cultivating that inside ourselves. When that feels complete, start to lengthen your breath a little bit. Rub your hands together vigorously till they feel nice and warm. And once they're nice and warm, place your hands over your eyes lightly. If you have glasses, you can take those glasses off, or just have your hands in front of your glasses. Allow the warmth to be penetrated by your eyes. Blink your eyes a few times and look right and left and up and down. And then gazing down, lowering your hands. Let your hands rest on your lap again. And just look around like low, still with your eyes gazing down. Just kind of take in whatever you can see right now. Notice how you feel. And when you feel ready, go ahead and lift your gaze. I always like to end with my hands together in a namaste to greet all of you and to show my respect to each one of you and to myself for showing up and taking time to meditate. Namaste.